So, I know this series is called Hagerstown Churches, but it's crazy because for our first church, we're going to Waynesboro. Now, it's about 7 minutes from my house. I currently live right outside of Hagerstown in Leitersburg right now. I just moved from in town Hagerstown, where I was for a few years. But I've literally lived all over Hagerstown, and now I'm super close to the border. But anyway, I got in my car and I started driving, and I got there super close to my house. I have some friends and associates who go to this church, and I've actually been here before, but I thought, what what a great way to start off this Hagerstown church thing than to go to one that I'm already kind of familiar with. It's still not my home church, but I am a bit familiar with it. So, and of course, walking in, I don't know if you've ever been to this church, but it is amazing. And when I say amazing, I mean like as far as like the spectacle of it all, for lack of a better term. Like as soon as you walk in, there's like this huge lobby, and they have coffee, and they have a cafe with a kitchen and food service team. They have like a whole daycare center kids zone that I didn't even check out, but it looks very nice. It must be nice. Kids just you take your kids there while the grown-ups go to church, and the kids hang out there. The whole compound is huge. It's very big. But yeah, it's just the lobby. They have like a visitors center, a welcome center, where people are there like at all times. They have 3 services a day. I believe it's like 9, 10, 30, and 11, or 9:30, 10, and 11, something like that. And I mean, it goes like clockwork, just an hour and 30 minutes or whatever. You're out, in, out. Now, as someone, I go to an Adventist Christian church. I don't know if you're familiar with Adventism, but it's very old school. We don't believe in, caffeine and stuff like that, especially kind of like commerce, the in the church, that kind of thing. It's very, very it's very old school and conservative. So seeing this was kind of like a shock my first time. I'm like, oh my gosh, they had like selling stuff in the church, and they're cooking food and everything. But you know what? It's getting people in the door, and I believe that Jesus healed before he preached. So if you're hungry and everything, why not get it at church? You might as well get something to eat since you're eating there spiritually. Now the whole charging thing, I don't know, I guess that's up for debate, but anyway, I don't know. But they have a freaking kitchen, man. It's crazy. That's crazy to me. Anyway, you go in, and let me just say, I feel it's a mega church. I mean, let's just keep it 100. It's definitely a mega church vibes, I should say. It's not actual mega church, because it can't seat that many people or whatever, but it's definitely like that kind of a vibe. Everything from like how you go in, and of course the sanctuary, it's very much like a mega church. It's like super dark in there. It's like the stage lights, and I didn't see a fog machine or anything like that, but I have no doubt that they have one. I'm sure they have one, but it's that kind of thing. And like they have a drummer, electric guitar, full praise team that practices. One of my friends is on the praise team there, and they practice, multiple times throughout the week. In my church, you practice the day of when you get there, maybe, or you just go on and kind of wing it. This is not like that. These people are, I mean, there's real musicians in every church, but I would like to call these like real musicians who like really are in it to put on a good show. And yes, praise the Lord, but also put on a good show and make sure it's good, and make sure it's palatable for everybody. It's nothing worse than someone getting up there and they can't hold a note, even though I know they're doing it for the Lord. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. Someone getting up there and can't sing a lick. So I like that part of it, the music. Although it does have a lot of that, that praise and worship feel, a lot of the repetition. 7-11 songs, the same, 7 words 11 times or whatever. You have a lot of that. But still, it's just really cool, really cool. The message was great. Um, I actually, before I get into that, I actually came in on for the Christmas series they were doing, and they had the little children in the church do like a little dance recital thing, which was kind of cute. Um, and a lot of singing. Excuse me. A lot of singing. Singing before, then like the format's kind of like you come in, they say, welcome to the church, they sing, they have a prayer, and then they sing again in like a couple more songs, few more songs, and then they pray, and then they do the little collection. They also have announcements as well before that initial song. They have the announcements. They of course had that little dance recital, and then after that it was the sermon, and then they have like a closing song, and and then the what do you call it, the invocation, or the whatever it's called, the end part of the service. And the sermon was really cool. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I feel like the sermon was the topic was basically how Jesus uses unlikely people to accomplish his mission, how he chooses or uses, honestly, outcasts and weirdos. He chose Matthew and Peter to come to, and shepherds, and he's born in a freaking farmhouse, essentially. Not at all what you would expect the master of the universe to be born in, or to the type of people he would surround himself with, and how he can use us, no matter what our faults or whatever may be. So I like that message. The people there, the first time I went there, they were kind of like, but this time everyone seemed pretty nice. I spoke to one lady, older lady. She was really kind, and the elderly man, he was very kind. Struck up a conversation with both of them, and you talk to them, and they'll talk back, and everyone the people I talked to were quite kind. I will say, if you are a black person or a person of color, it's mostly white. I will say that it's definitely a predominantly white space. I think I was not the only black person, but maybe 1 out of 3 or 1 out of 4 out of 100. So it's definitely a predominantly white space if you're concerned about that sort of thing. But overall, I think the church was good. My only critiques of it is just, it just seems super mega churchy, super like a corporation, however, I did feel the spirit there. I did feel the spirit of God there. And especially in the people that I spoke to, they were all part of the body, and they all seemed to be, genuine. So I have no gripe about that. So yeah, if you can, check out Otterbein in Waynesboro. Oh, and if you've been to Otterbein or have any suggestions for churches I should check out and review, let me know in the comments.